Standard 2. Today is Wednesday. On your paper, you should have something similar to this guy here. Of course, you have the x plus 5, the x minus 2. On this problem, they're asking for your zeros. Anybody know another name for zeros? Roots. Zeros, roots. There's another name. X-intercepts. Do me a favor, write down zeros, roots, x-intercepts. I'll put a star next to x-intercept. Solution. These are the different ways they're going to ask the same question. Which is why, again, vocabulary is becoming more and more important to me, because, again, students at this level will eventually remember to get the x-intercept, you're first going to be given the factored form. So let me write this down. Please write down factor, which is one of the 4 things you will need. Actually, let's pause. Let me write, to get the line of symmetry, you will take the 2 x-intercepts. You'll add them together. I mean, we may not have done it on this problem, but eventually we'll have to do it.
We did it on more complicated problems.
Yeah. Got it. Oh, okay. Divide by 2. Unfortunately, this one's going to come out to be a decimal. So in this case, I'm going to put it below it. Sure, I'll do it below it. Equals, what's that, negative 3?
It is a negative 3.
Negative 3 over 2, you can, you got to turn it into a decimal. Half of $3. Yes, a negative 1.5. That's your line of symmetry. At this point, if you understand what's happening, you've just gotten the score in Standard 2. To get a, you've gotten a 2 so far. Once we do this next line, which I'm going to give you calculators for, you will have gotten 3. Symmetry as an equation, you put x equals. That's how you write as an equation.
Wait, is x is this then?
All right, so that's how you get. That's how you write the line of symmetry, also called the LOS. Because math people hate writing long words. That's why we have variables. Last step. How do I get the vertex? I take this x and I plug it back into the original wherever I see an x. So you have your calculator so that you can just type this in. On your calculator, you can type in, instead of an x plus 5, you're going to type in a negative 1.5 plus 5. Yes, you need to do the parentheses. Then the second one, you're going to put that negative 1.5. Now, I'm not sure if you get to do it on a calculator on the test, but for now, just so you know what's happening without struggling between subtracting negative and a positive and then parentheses.
It's negative 12.25.
All right. The word on the streets is that it might be negative 12.5. Okay, we got 2 of those. 0.25. Do this, plug this in, make sure you get that number. I'm going to write down what I've heard. I hear that negative 12.25. Now you have to write this as an ordered pair, like the vertex. Remember h comma k. The vertex is an x, and k, the x is this weird 1.5. All right, I should have written that red thing down here, and now it's all low. So how can I do that? And then we'll pause that technically the math problem that was done was, this is way too much arrowing, x plus 5 equals 0. To do that, you subtract 5 from both sides. For those who weren't here, at negative 5, that's where it's coming from. Eventually, you will never do this because you know it's the same number, opposite sign, same number, opposite sign. But this is where it comes from. Because the question that should really being asked here is, hey, what does x need to be so that this entire parenthesis will wind up being a 0? Oh, negative 5 plus 5, that's 0. What does x need to be so that this entire parenthesis is equal to 0? Oh, a positive 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. That's where those numbers come from. All right, let's see if we can find one more of these to do.
Oh, not negative 6. Positive 6? Yeah, it's going to be because it's negative 6.
Oh, you're right.
If 6 is a negative.
So I'm doing the one right next to it.
And multiply. If you subtract them, then
For those who weren't here, when you're trying to factor this equation, last number goes on top of the x, middle number goes on the bottom. Next question, what are two numbers that if you multiply gives you an 18, but if you add give you a 6, rather give you a 3. 6 times 3 is 18. If this is negative, one of these has to be negative. And the rule is whatever the sign is on the bottom number always goes with the bigger one, which means this guy over here has to be negative. It is from Algebra 1 first semester, so it's a long time ago. Once you get these, this isn't the problem you're doing. I'm just doing this one on the side to get some people started on the last one.
Because that's the problem.
Here's a 6, and here's a 3. For those who weren't here last time, any questions on this red line? Because from this red line, then it looks just like this one. You do the next step, the next step, the next step. On this guy here? Yeah. So yeah, you get the new numbers to get this row here. And then you're right, you add, divide. Okay, please. Where are you talking about? What line? Where?
We don't know the x. No.
Right. So here, you're just at the very beginning over
You're
here.
putting them at the same time.
What are two numbers that when you multiply them, they give you a positive 14, but when you add those same two numbers, they give you a negative 7. Right, you multiply those, you get that. You add these two guys, you get that. Here comes the zeros. Someone say what the zeros are? You get the numbers, and of course, because they are x-intercepts, you are getting the x number when the other guy is 0. If it was a y-intercept, you get the y number when the other guy was 0. Now, the hope here is that this feels so comfortable that standard 2 now is like, okay. Standard 1, you can do the parabola, and I'm going to mess around with standard 4 in just a second. Standard 3, doing a computer, which is going to be no big deal for most of you. All right, here we go. Now to get, factor. Please write that down so you know the words. Factor, 0. I'm about to get the 7 plus 2. Divided by 2, that's a 9 over 2. What's half of $9? Anybody know half of $9? 4.5, $4.50. This is going to be, and again, write it. They're going to ask for the equation for the line of symmetry. So do write that x equals, and I'm putting LOS.
So it's not like the x coordinate?
Say again, please.
So for the y coordinate, we're going to plug in the x and then solve it out?
All right, last one. You know, on your calculator, technically you could put this guy here back into the top one.
Right.
But I prefer the second one just because somebody in the calculator would have trouble raising the number to the second power.
Or just multiply.
But yeah, you could do that. So for me, I'm going to put it back into this guy so it looks like this. It's possible for tests. You may not have a calculator. If the problem has small numbers that don't have decimals, you probably won't get a calculator. If it's big numbers or it has decimals, then I'm probably going to let you use a calculator. 4.5 minus 7, 4.5. What is it? Minus 2. Minus 2. The whole thing. You got a negative who? Negative 6.25. I need someone to confirm that answer. Yeah, I got that. Okay. It has to be, the vertex has to be an ordered pair. What is the x? The 4.5. Pause. Take, I think this was a -5. It's true, to get rid of that -5, we divide everybody by a -5. By dividing by a -5, yes, this y, it'll just be a y, because this will be a regular 1. I'm going to put in the 1 and get rid of it. -5 here would also be a 1. And this one here, of course, would turn into a +6. Hey, what's he trying to say to us? Just remember that when you're dividing by negative, it's going to change the signs of everything that was there.
The y is still positive. That going to be -6 then, because the y is not being negative.
This one here would be a positive because technically we're doing -30 divided by a -5.
Because 5 is positive.
Right? You are right. That's why this is a made-up problem to say, in case you had a -5 out front or a -10,
But is this
no, that you'd be dividing by that.
5 wasn't a negative?
Then you just do regular. Yeah. All right. We have that. So people who weren't here last time, what should officially be in this container right here? Divided by regular 5. You got a y2. You got a -1y, which you don't write the 1. -6. I'm going down to the very bottom. What was the LOS on this one?
0.5.
It was a who?
0.5.
Oh, okay, just a regular 0.5.
Wait, how do we get the factor pair? How do we get y -3 and then?
And then the last part is the vertex. What do we want to get for the vertex?
0.5, -6.5.
6 who?
0.5 and it's -6.5.
Wait, can you show us how you got the order? Because I'm so big on this.
All right, 625. If you have a calculator, just in case you missed this one, what was it? It was x minus who?
It was x plus 3 and then x minus, no wait. No, it was x minus 3 and then plus 2.
That was 2 minus 3.
But how did we get the x plus?
Well, that's what we're going to...
How do we get the x minus 3 and x plus 2? I'm confused. I'm not.
You had this y squared minus y minus 6. You did this thing. So that thing. All right. So you okay with where this came from? All right. You know the formula for the for a circle. The formula for a circle.
No. Which formula?
For what?
C
Isn't
equals
it?
Now, to produce a circle, to make this thing exist,
Isn't it
there
R
is
like
a
pi?
formula.
R equals
No, it's not area.
R squared.
R squared's in it.
R squared.
X and Y are in it.
Okay, I don't know.
R squared pi?
All
No,
right.
that's for the area.
X squared plus Y squared
Equals
equals R squared.
Oh.
Looks like that A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah. Write that down. I'm going to read this guy up here. We're going to grab a highlighter. Let's find out what's important. What's the official definition of a circle? A circle is a set of all points that are equal distance from a given point, called the center. So let's do this. Set of all points. Underline set of all points. Why set of all points? So that when someone says the word circle, the thing that you would think of as a mathematician is, oh, it's the set of all points. Set of all points just means that this is a set of a classroom students. You guys are a set of how many? 5, 6, and 6. 12 students are in this set of students. A circle has a bunch of points that are the same distance away from the center. There is an infinite number, and again, the reason when we draw a circle, we just smooth it in, because in between these dots that you see, there are more dots in between those. And in between those, there are even more until it's an infinite number of them. Let's see, underline equal distance with your highlighter, please.
Same.
If on one dot he's inside and another guy he's outside, you don't have a circle. They have to be what they would usually write with equal distance. And of course, that distance from the middle, we call it the radius. Not sure when they made up that word or why. Why does radius mean you're the same distance? Say it again.
What's the guy's name?
It could be like use his own name, like yeah, we'll call it R. R stands for radius. Isn't that your name? Yeah. All right. Here it comes out. Here is the extra part. This is the part that this next line that you're supposed to know. Hey, if I wanted to move this circle to the left or to the right, a horizontal shift, I would do something to the x. Please write in what letter you think would go inside with the x. It'll look like what we've done with the parabola already. Don't say it out loud so somebody can guess what letter I'm going to put with the x. If you think of the parabola formula, when we move it to the left or to the right, there's something inside the parenthesis with the x. Normally we put a number, but don't say it out loud. Try to put a letter. In about 10 seconds, we'll have someone announce it. 2, 1, what is that letter? Not only is it an H, but it's going to be a minus H.
Is it never a positive H?
The formula is always minus H. The numbers are positive or negative. All right, here comes the next one. To move the thing up or down, don't say it. There's a letter that's going to go inside with the letter Y. Don't say it. Guess it. Put it in. And then probably in about 15 seconds we'll do it. This is up and down. Yeah. Now, it is a K. Here's the bad news. Instead of a plus K, for the purposes of the circle, it is still a minus. I think it has something to do with being inside of a parenthesis. If you're inside a parenthesis, then ultimately you want to have the minus.
Keep zoning out.
7 is the radius. It will help us get what we need. Our math class. If you miss, make it start Thursday between 1 and 4. All right, we will see you. Notice that the circle is moved 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3. 1, 2, 3 for the new center. The center is also called your H, comma, K.